If you have a piece of paper, I'll just write 8 little words, and you can just hand that on to whoever. Because you can't give me the name of who told you I can't go live. Is that correct?
So Paula, it's a company policy. Now,
I know it's a company policy, but a company can't speak. A human being, a lawyer, whatever, has to speak on behalf. Great.
So let me just say, in short, in order for me to give someone access to the facility before noon, there has to be I guess I have to have staff here to support that, which means I'll have to get overtime approved. So it's it's not just, okay, Paula, you can come in and go live, and I'll have someone here prior to you going live. It's more so along the lines of anyone within the facility before noon needs to have a specific purpose. Now, I know that you want to go live, I guess, on a fairly regular basis, and that's something that the department at this current state can't support on a daily basis or a weekly basis. So, in order for me to say Paula has to go live, it'll have to be, something that's communicated to every single person here and approved. Because I'm opening the facility before 12.
Okay. But you said you do everything in your power to make this happen.
Right. Which was to communicate overall with, individuals that are responsible for opening the facility and being in the facility before 12 o'clock.
Okay. And we used to do this in the past.
And
it was so easy. 5 minutes before, I would put on a pre-recorded show. Then you could leave, and the burden was all on me.
I do understand that. I can tell you, when you made the request, I believe you made this request about 6 months ago, specifically with Jeanette. During that time...
Oh, I don't even remember. I've made the request so many times in the last 2 years. I was trying to go live out of the firehouse. I had a really important guest, a tribute actor to John Lennon. He came up from Florida. You unfortunately had to give me that disappointing news. Now, I have no problem with you, Cory, as a man. No problem whatsoever. And I see you as far more than a corporation working within, as an employee. That's very much a limitation of you as a man. So you would never be harmed for not violating somebody's rights. And I have a right to access my audience. If they think I'm worthless, let them flip the channel. But I've worked hard. I have 2,000 videos up. Jeanette used to send, when they used to not do the internal tabulation and the little barcode used to say channel 34. I was way over 2,000. So that's legacy. And you, I know out of kindness, told me a long time ago, maybe, Paula, you're too old for this, because you can see out of kindness, and I respect that.
Saying that
well, you could see the stress, the pressure, the constant disappointment of asking for things that are so easy to accommodate to people, and you couldn't do it.
Yeah, once again, I don't recall ever saying that to you, but...
Well, no, it sounds like a mean statement because nobody wants to admit to being old, but that doesn't bother me.
Once again, I don't recall. I don't think I'll ever say that. But if
you
believe so,
all I'm
fine.
saying is you have never been unkind to me, perhaps in the tension of that, me being late and expecting to go to a meeting that Lydia had arranged, and the police were coming. Obviously, that doesn't bring out the best in any of us, including the police who had blacked out badges. So for sure that's a big problem. So for right now, I'm just saying, I just have simple words for you to hand to whoever it was that you had to get back to before 5 o'clock, and by the time I called back, you were gone. And that is just, I, Paula, a woman, claim the wrong of trespass. So if you can just hand that.
Now, let me just mention something to you. What I would recommend you doing, this will be If you can put this in a comment box. There's a comment card next to the comment
No,
box.
I want you.
See,
I want you because I don't know who picks up the comment box.
The comment box is reviewed by every single person on the management team on a weekly basis. I can assure you of that. So
no, I want that to go to whoever told you that I couldn't go live today. Because right now there's two people from the education department. I think Tiffany Blunt and Elizabeth Downer. And they're ready, willing, eager, and able to show me how to use that studio because Lydia Radin was too afraid to come in here and tell Greg Sutton, who's on vacation. And when I told him I was really concerned about the mix and match and that bad things were being said by me and Joe, because if we're being discriminated against, we have to protect ourselves. So you told me you were at the mix and match, and never in your presence did you hear anything negative said against me and Joe that would prevent people from helping us.
Correct.
Right.
And I'm also.
And I believe that.
I can also say that for the entire duration of the mix and mingle, outside of my brief presentation, I was in the studio helping another fellow producer. So while that activity was happening, at least 45 minutes, I was not physically in the mix and mingle. Once again, in my presence, I heard nothing in reference to you or any other producer.
Okay, there was one producer, and she said she didn't come because she didn't want to be banned, and she knew that she couldn't sit by if anything was said against me and Joe. So people are afraid to come to the mix and mingles. I have that one case. Now, granted, I'm sure she'll be too afraid to sign to it, so it's hearsay, right? Unless you actually have a signature of somebody who's made a complaint, it's hearsay. So I'm saying between you and me, I want to start working with you and with M&N in a powerful way, not in an adversarial way. And I want you to give my claim of this wrong of trespass to whoever it was that told you I can't go live, and to say, let's do something even better. I could start to bring judges on my show. I've had a judge come up to me in Woodstock, granted with handshaking, and he wants to put out the olive branch. And that's how powerful public access is.
Have you considered just moving your time slot by 1/2 an hour?
No, I don't want to move it by 1/2 an hour because that's when I've come on forever. Practically forever. I used to be 11:30, and then at 12 I would start streaming on the internet. And that's when I got on Howard Stern. That's how powerful that is. So I am known for years now for that 12 o'clock slot. That's where my standing is. That's like saying, have you ever considered moving out of your apartment temporarily? Meanwhile, you lose all of your standing in your apartment. And my apartment is still not resolved. I'm calling up the city marshal storage. We've got the other side. I mean, there's so much we can do with public access to bring peace and prosperity to this community. It would blow your mind. And it would make every person here on staff in a much more exalted position.
Well, one thing I would like to say, just in reference to our fellow community producers, is, one reason why I've enjoyed working here so much is because of the programs that I feel have powerful impacts on society. Powerful impact and a message delivered at the minimum within the city limits and or wherever people distribute it.
But now city limits is a very tricky term.
So I'm just only referring to broadcast on M&N, referring to Manhattan as a borough, and then if that same project is online, it's everywhere. It's worldwide. So when broadcasting live from M&N, it's limited to...
Okay, but what I mean by city limits, and it's because I've been forced to learn so much law, within what we think of the city limits, okay, this will be quick, within those city limits, you think it's a physical location you're talking about. If that was the case, M&N would be coming out through Port Authority. It's not. And I called this to Greg's attention. Now, all of the information I'm giving you, it's valuable information. Greg can take this and negotiate more powerfully for the unlimited bandwidth that Joe and I heard Dan tell the board when Dee Dee Halleck wasn't allowed. So what I'm telling you is those simple words, I, Paula, a woman, claim the wrong of trespass. You hand that up the chain, and you're going to empower all of us who are far more than corporations, okay?
I'll hand this over, Paula.
Thank you very much, Cory.
So...
That's all I want. And let's keep at it, and let's bring Lydia back, and let's get rid of this fear state. that's existing, okay?
Fine. Thank you very much, Paula.
Thank you, Cory.
All right.
Bye. Roberto, who's in the closed studio?
Oh.
You don't know? Is it like on the list? Is it up here so you don't have to come over? Is it down? We have these lightning fast computers. Is it still loading?
Charnice Lewis.
Until when? 3 o'clock? Now, in the past, if people didn't show up in 15 minutes, they lost their... What's that? Oh, she's down there?
Yeah, she's big.
Oh, I thought he was helping this one. Then who's in the big studio?
That's her.
But I meant closed studio.
Dark-skinned black woman?
No, closed.
light-skinned
Closed studio.
Yeah.
She can't be in the closed and the open.
She's not.
She's in the closed. So who's in the open?
Ginger at 12:30.
Oh, at 12:30. Okay. Thank you. Here it's 12:22. Hi, I came to pick up my DVDs and anything for Pot Talk. I think meetings with remarkable people sending in files, right? There should be a DVD for last week. Is that your handwriting? Repeat. Okay, good. Oh yeah, these are good ones. Oldies but goodies. There should be one for Pot Talk. A DVD. Yeah. Hey, Hector. They can't hear because of that. Oh, good. Oh, good. Great. Thank you. And I'm going to turn in one. Actually, could I put this for my show next Wednesday? Oh, this is a good one, too. The show that I am playing yesterday and today, can we put that for next Thursday and Friday?
Hello.
Hey, Hector. That's a pretty powerful fan you've got in here.
It's the AC.
It's the AC?
Yep.
To keep the equipment cool, huh?
That's what they tell us.
You know, sometimes I've gone into the control room and it was really hot.
Oh, that's only for master control.
In our little control rooms, it's okay.
That's a totally different AC system.
Really?
Yeah, that what you're hearing is only for master control.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, the building one is on the roof.
So when I'm in the little control room, you know, for the studios, if it's warm, it's okay? It doesn't mean equipment's being damaged?
It's not. I'm not saying that it's okay. A majority of the equipment that's in the studios actually resides in master control. So in the studios, what you're getting are the decks and the monitors. So there's less, I don't want to say important equipment, but there's less equipment that can be damaged.
Right. Well, see, once I wanted to cut the noise so I could speak from the control room, and they said I couldn't because the fans kept down the temperature for the equipment. But then in another day I came in and it was really warm, and there was no fans.
Unfortunately, I can't speak about the building's AC
I know.
system. I can only speak about my own because that's the only one
I know.
next to all day long.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
You're set for the 13th.
Great. And have I been good, Ruth, on handing in my files?
Awesome.
Okay, thank you. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Bye. So there's my show going out, or at least it's going out on this IP address. And these are the other 4 channels that MNN has. But it seems as though there's at least 2 more channels, according to Lydia's research with Verizon and what they were offering, indicated that community television had 6 channels and not 4. But we're only showing 4 here. We can't get any sound here, so you'd have to go on a computer to do that. Now we're coming up to the half hour, so you can see most of the shows are 28 minutes, and these are ads. So there's Frank Craven. Now Frank Craven is a longtime public access producer. His show, What's Ailing Healing America, comes out Fridays, I think at 9:30 p.m. And Frank was invited to be at a free breakfast that was going to be pitching some kind of financial investment at the World Trade Center on the day of 9/11. And Frank chose not to go to this free breakfast, but to go to an Iraqi sit-in strike, a hunger strike. So Frank is very motivated to support 9/11 Truth. Also, Frank knew about, he was learning editing from a 29-year-old woman working here at MNN who was killed in the buildings that day. All cell phones were blacked out. That's something I've done shows out on Knockout Wi-Fi. Okay, Joe, so what do we got
Don't
here?
shoot fancy. Okay, first we got this here, which is to John and Jane Doe, care of 26 Gramercy Park, when our opponents know there is no John and Jane Doe. Now they've sent us this. Get a good... And notice there's no return address on this envelope.
Now it said registered over here. That box was checked registered. But registered is very expensive, and this is only $4.21. It's also sent, if you note, from Garden City, New York. That's where Mott, Hamrock, and whatever it is.
Okay, now
Jennifer Eckert's new.
notice it's unopened. We're going to open it. Well, they actually put my name on it. Paula Gloria and John Doe, Jane Doe, proprietary petitioner, proprietary lease.
That's the back side, so flip it over. Oh, so it's the same old thing we were dealing with. But it's always good to be forewarned.
No, but see, what they'd do is they'd say John and Jane Doe didn't answer, and they'd open a case for John and Jane Doe.
However, we already answered in that paperwork and said there is no John or Jane Doe, but for people who aren't as aware, show more clearly, people. That's HO, holdover. This is usually what the last steps of eviction. And let's see, do we have Carol Tucilio there? Tucilio? On the next page. Okay, yeah. So she's important. This is the notice to agent as notice to principal. Carol Tucilio is the agent for Argo Management. Now they're calling it a multiple dwelling number, and it's got a number, multiple dwelling number, and she handles that. But of course we don't live in a number. We live
Okay,
in
now
building.
we are sending them, everyone involved in this, a cease and desist.
Louis Asserino, Jennifer Eckert, Gregory G. Calabro, Shapiro, DeCaro, and Barak is public enemy number 1, I've heard. Carol Tucilio, Argo Management, Bora Goldstein, Altschuler, Nahins, and Godel, Morit, Hawk, and Hamroff, and also Martin Tenenbaum, Berger, and Shivers. And what we're saying is, here's these corporate entities, John and Jane Doe. All of these folks are against us, and we're the real parties of interest. We're flesh and blood people who live in an actual apartment, not in a legal fictitious.
Okay, now wait. Now I'm going to read our cease and desist. See, that says cease and desist. Now I'm going to read. Cease and desist from your fraudulent effort to evict John and Jane Doe from 26 Gramercy Park, 7H, New York. Since you have all been told and know there is no John and Jane Doe residing at 26 Gramercy Park, 7H, New York, New York. The only people living at 26 Gramercy Park, 7H, are Joseph Barton and Paula Gloria Saganis Barton. We have stated in all our court papers that you all have copies of that there is no John Doe or Jane Doe living here. You are using John Doe and Jane Doe as a fraudulent attempt to open a court case in their name for the purpose of evicting us, Paula Gloria Saganis Barton and Joseph Barton, from our home. Once again, you are acting in a fraudulent manner, acting with unclean hands, and perpetrating fraud upon the court. We, Joseph Barton and Paula Gloria Barton, in all our court appearances on the record, both in print and verbally, stated that no John Doe or Jane Doe live here. You are using a John Doe and a Jane Doe to unlawfully try to get an eviction judgment so you can evict Joseph Barton and Paula Gloria Barton with the sheriff or marshal. This is an underhanded scheme using the courts fraudulently. So once again, cease and desist from sending mail, registered or otherwise, taping notes on our door, or harassing us in any way, including setting court dates in the name of John Doe or Jane Doe. We stated in 2 housing court cases and in a Supreme Court case, index number 402837/10, on the record and in writing, that Paula Gloria Barton lives with her husband Joseph Barton, a decorated disabled Vietnam veteran, and that no John and Jane Doe live here. So once again, cease and desist from your fraudulent attempt to evict us unlawfully using fictitious names John Doe and Jane Doe. And it's notice to agent is notice to principal is notice to agent, and we're going to send this to all these parties involved, and to the U.S. and to the marshal and to the sheriff, so that they don't become involved in this fraud. As soon as you put that camera in.
Watch, see? You don't even know it's on. Here's where we go. So now, let me get this on camera. Now we're going into Argo.
We have a court order to let us in to get Paula's Paula's phone.
And feed the fish. So we were supposed to show it to the super, but he's got orders from the management company not to. Hi there. Oh no, I know you, but I like to be legal. I can't remember your name.
My name is David.
David, right. Good, and you?
Great.
It's nice to see a pleasant face.
Always. You look great.
What's that?
So you look great.
Oh, thank you.
Of course.
Time in 10:59.
10:59.
And I'll put my husband here.
Nice outfit.
What's that?
Nice outfit.
Yeah.
Argo, 6 back.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank
How
you.
doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
What floor is Argo?
Oh, Argo 7,
6 and 7.
6 and 7. Where do you go?
Is that Carol Priscilla?
No.
Hello. We lived at 26 Gramercy Park. We were evicted yesterday. Her cell phone is still in the apartment, and we got a judge's order to let us back in to get her cell phone. Barton, B-A-R-T-O-N. B-A-R-T-O-N.
Thank you.
Court order.
How's it going?
What's going on? How are you?
Well, we got evicted yesterday.
You got somewhere to
Unlawfully.
be, right?
What's
You
that?
got somewhere to go?
Yeah, but we were waiting for the judge to rule on a motion uncontested for dismissal. We were denied access to our file for almost 2 months. So we didn't know that a warrant had come in until 6 days before. Then we went down to do an order to show cause, which are usually easily given until it can be judged on the merits. What are you here for?
I am just waiting for one of my managers.
One of your managers? You work here?
Yeah.
I paid my maintenance here for 16 years.
Excuse me?
I paid my maintenance here for 16 years.
16 years. So you like this, they have nothing to do with the eviction, do they?
We'll see.
You like the area you're living in now?
What's that?
You like the area that you're living in now?
You mean crashing on a friend's sofa?
Yeah, is it in the same area?
It's kind of close. Did you ask for Harold Tuccino?
He said have a seat, he's getting somebody.
Is it second on that?
No.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. They're made in New Zealand. I have no idea of any other shoes from New Zealand.
And the nail polish is nice too.
Huh?
And the nail polish is nice
Well,
too.
thank you very much. This is a lovely visit for me.
It turned out to be so. Did you pick them up from the museum yourself, or you just
No,
ordered them?
I wish I had. It's a pretty country. No, there's the various, what the heck is the name of that shoe store on Madison at 23rd? Where they sell shoes that for way too much money, that have orthotics and
Oh,
this
okay.
is a clever one. It's not usual to have an arch.
So that's orthopedic type, same, orthopedic?
Well, they sell everything. The whole range.
Do you know Bernice Shack? Yeah, my husband. Thank you.
Right here?
You go in there, please. You're welcome.
From a judge to allow us to go back into our apartment to get our clothes and her telephone and
Feed the fish. The fish are dying.
Okay, this court order.
is to allow us to go in and get our possessions.
We have other court dates for.
Okay, I think what you need to do, even with this court order, is you still have to go through the owner. You have to contact the owner to get
The
it.
landlord.
You have Louis Assarino's phone number. We don't have
Oh,
it.
you don't have any of the information?
No.
I do. It's on my cell
It
phone. in
was
the
on her
apartment.
phone, and her phone's
Okay.
locked in.
Well, I could get you that information, and the best way you could do this in the quickest way
Could you
is to
call
call
him?
them.
No, could you call him and
I
say?
cannot call them. This is something you need to do.
Okay, that's
he-
all right.
But I'll get the number for
Well,
you.
can you tell him we have the court order? He hangs up on me.
Well-
He's missed 3 court appearances.
This
He
is,
doesn't like me.
I know that, but this is the owner. I cannot supersede the owner. So you have to go through the owner
He's-
to get in. Even with the court order, you gotta go through the owner.
Well, it says.
Okay. Can we get a, do you have a pen?
No, I don't.
I'll write it down for you. I'll be
Yeah,
happy to
his
write your
phone number,
down.
please.
Yes, no problem. What's the person's name?
Louis
Assarino. Here, do me a favor, write it on this one, not on the order.
Yeah, I just can't hear you. Good. Can you put me through to Adrian for a minute, please?
Adrian, please call reception. Adrian?
It's Zazzarino.
What's his name?
Assarino. Z-A-Z-Z.
Arino.
Zazzarino. Okay. Louis, right?
Yes.
L-U-I-S or L-O-U-I-S?
Louis.
Okay. Okay, John.
How's Carol?
Excuse me?
Carol Tuccillo, how is she?
She's doing. She's good. She's on vacation right now.
Send her my regards when
I
you
will.
see her. We shouldn't
I will.
hold it against each other, our occupations.
Okay. I'll let her know Monday she get back. Still raining out?
No.
No? Hey, Adrian, can you give me Louis Zazzarino's number? Yes.
Did you get your cell phone out?
Just bring it in. Bring it in and give it to, what's that? Okay, great. I'm in the conference room, so if you could bring it in, give it to him, I appreciate it. Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, she's gonna bring it to you.
She can't just give you the number on the phone?
Well, she has to look it up.
Oh,
So once she looks it up, I told her just bring it this way. You have the number.
And then I'll call him in front of you and,
There's nothing I can do for you, unfortunately. I can't do anything because this has to go through them.
well, you're the management company
I
for
know
the
that
building.
we manage the building, but we cannot let anybody into the apartment.
Well, I didn't say you had to let us in,
Right.
but you are in.
I can't tell her to let you in. I can't do that. legally I cannot do that.
Tell her.
Him, you mean.
Tell him that you could get in. I cannot get involved in this at all.
But you
because-
can tell him you saw the judge's order.
Then he's in contempt
Well,
of a
what
judge's
What
order.
we'd have to do
Then
is...
he'll be in contempt of a judge's
He'll
order.
be in contempt for like, what, the fourth time?
Yeah, I would
We had an order to
think
dismiss.
what you need to do is you need to fax this to him. Send this to him or hand deliver it to him or whatever. But
In
that's,
White Plains, when we
Is that
were
where he is?
thrown out on the streets,
Is that where he is?
at the courts they couldn't believe that an eviction took place before a final court ruling. It's all done to destabilize us. Sorry you got this hard job, Ken.
Excuse me?
I'm sorry you got this hard job.
Yeah. Nobody said it was going to be easy, you know?
I mean, this particular assignment.
Yeah. So they're saying here that you can only get your clothes and medicine.
Well, my cell phone
And
and
a cell
feed
phone.
the fish. The
It
fish will die
it
by
says, if you look, it says,
It says clothes and medicine.
no, granting her possessions
And it says here clothes and medicine.
Yeah.
and her
because
cell
it's-
phone.
Yeah.
They didn't say that, but
Well, it's a possession.
yeah.
It was 8 o'clock in the morning, and in all of the hustle, it's one of the most nerve-wracking experiences you can
I'm sure.
imagine.
I'm sure.
And we were misplacing his cell phone, and it was in my back pocket. I kept hearing it ring, and I didn't know where it was, so I was calling on my phone, and then in all of the hullabaloo, I left it. And then when I went back, the man that was actually closing the door, he could have let me in, but he didn't. Because all of the officers, I mean, there was a whole
Yeah.
parade.
They have a job to do, they just do it, you know, unfortunately.
Well, if they do it right, there's no problem. Due process is fine. But the marshal wouldn't, he was, until the real police came along, he was very aggressive.
We called the police
We called the
because
police.
he was so aggressive.
And what the police do?
Well, they came and
They calmed it
down. That's what we wanted.
Yeah.
And then they told me to get my phone. I needed a court's order, and it took me a long time because
They locked her out before she could get her phone. She just wanted to go in to get her
Right.
phone.
And then I need all of these for an important court date, not only tomorrow, but in Supreme Court the following week. But by the time of the Supreme Court, where I hope to actually remedy it, because this judge is never, ever giving us anything we ask for. Even when Lewis doesn't show up. She
Right,
doesn't
twice he didn't show up for court. Twice we asked for a default, and she didn't default him.
But she said she'd rule on our motion uncontested, but she had 60
And
days
she never
to do
ruled
it.
on it.
But I think legally she shouldn't have even said that. It should have
No.
been a default by the clerk. But we're not lawyers.
Okay. I'm gonna have, Adrian will bring you the information you need. You need to contact him
Yeah.
and then take it from there. And he may ask for a copy of that, so you're gonna have to fax that to him.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine.
You know, and
That's
then
fine.
that's the quickest way I could see it happening for you is to contact him.
Well, we have no other remedy.
Right, and I'll make sure that she has a fax number for him as well.
Because
Yeah.
So you
we
can
were
fax it.
told,
Yeah.
we were
Yeah,
told,
please.
Yeah.
we were told to take it to the super. In the event the super wouldn't cooperate, to take it to the precinct. But the precinct said, what can they do if they
Right.
don't have the key?
Right.
They
So
don't
then
have the
we
key,
walked
right.
over here, where I used to pay my maintenance for 16 years,
Right, yeah.
until I found out where it was going, which is really the basis of the problem.
Okay. All right. Well, I wish you luck. I'm going to wait for Adrian to come down and make sure you have all the information, but
Yeah.
that's the best I could do for you.
Well, thank you, Ken.
You know.
Thank you.
You could
Yeah.
just split and leave us. That's
Yeah, no,
nice of you to stay
I
here.
want to give you
We
whatever
can
you
sit
need.
out there if she's going to bring it to us, and we don't have to sit in here.
Yeah, well, we don't need this room right now, so
Oh, okay.
you can sit in here and she should.
We just want to get our stuff, is
Yeah,
all we
I
want to
understand.
do. Eventually, we're going to get it into the higher court, and then the big lawsuits are coming down because, first of all, Chase Bank said that they wanted to foreclose on us. We said, show us the note with the wedding signature. Are you a lawyer? You understand?
I understand someone, not an attorney,
Okay. Show us the note with the wedding signature. For 1 year, they kept sending
2
us
years.
letters.
Oh, yeah.
Sending us letters.
For 2 years, we asked for that.
Now, do you have a fax number for anybody?
No, only the email and his cell number.
Okay, because we need to send this document to him.
Well, we'll call him and
Yeah, why don't you call him and
Can
tell
we
him
call
the
him right
document,
now?
then he could give you the fax number. Okay?
he hangs up on my voice.
So,
Maybe he'll.
all right, so you're gonna make that phone call. I wish there was something more I could do, but there really isn't. You have to go directly to him. And I wish you the best of luck.
This started in 2004 when the board came in, broke my locks, and stole my stock certificate. You know the history?
Anyway, they did a non-judicial foreclosure, which is illegal in New York. And then they gave him documents on the non-judicial foreclosure. And landlord-tenant court can't hear this, but when we get it in...
Yeah.
Hello, Lewis? This is Joe Barton. We have an order from a judge to let us in to get our clothes and our possessions.
Right now. Right now. My cell phone is.
Right now, we don't have any place to put everything. We need to get the cell phone, some clothes, and medicine. No, that's not possible. But we have an order right now signed by a judge saying that you have to let us in to get our possessions right now.
Like my cell phone.
Well, we got to go to court. We got to go to court tomorrow until all the court stuff is straightened out. We don't want our possessions touched.
We expect to move back in. Okay, where's the fax? His fax. Have a pen?
No,
We'll fax it to you.
No.
Just let us fax the order.
No, we need to get in now. We have a judge's order. Are you going to it? Okay. What's your fax number? We need your fax number.
So
no, mail it takes too long.
We'll meet you at the apartment with the key.
No, if we take it out, we are abandoning it. And we have no intention of abandoning it. If we take all our possessions out of there, we are abandoning it. We intend to fight you.
No, we don't have any court order.
We have a court order right now signed by a judge saying...
You see?
I'll tell you what. Oh, okay, you want to play heavy? We are going to sue you so bad when this is all over. Everything you've done has been illegal, and we can prove it every step of the way. You want to play it this way. We were trying to be
I want my
nice.
cell phone. I need
She
my
wa-
cell
we-
phone. I
my
can't
wife
function
needs
without
her
my
cell
cell phone.
Let us in to get her cell phone,
This is
some clothes, and
bully
medicine
tactics.
that's up there.
This is
You're going to deny us access to our medicine? He hung up.
Do you have an attorney?
No. But
No.
Let's get one.
we know enough
No.
law that we
attorneys are the problem.
Yeah.
He just pays them off.
Well, you have the information, if you have his email address, if you have a way to scan it and email it to him, that's another thing you could do.
Thank you.
Thank
You
you.
seem like
Thank
a
you.
sincerely good man, you know, and this is just not good what's happening.
Thank you.
If there's any relationship between Argo and Louis Sassarino, because he's not the landlord, and the Martians ordered his landlord. He's not the landlord.
He was the petitioner all through the thing, and then,
You should tell
and then
him to
at one
cease and
point,
desist.
the judge just changed it to landlord. We had no contract with him as landlord, but first of all, non-judicial foreclosure were illegal. The auction was illegal.
But it isn't the deal, it's the stocks.
Right. Right. Well, there's going to be a big lawsuit behind it all, for sure.
Either that or we'll be destroyed. But
All right,
you know,
here you go.
Thank you.
All right, good luck now, okay?
Nobody stands up, nothing changes.
Yeah. Good luck now.
Okay.
Take care.
Talk to Carol and get rid of Zazzarino.
They can't get rid of it. We're going to get rid of Zazzarino.